Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, Fran's Fresh Start in Chiang Mai. Today, I have the privilege of introducing you to someone truly remarkable. His name is Dave Small, and I first met him during the first visit to Apex Fitness. Right away, I could tell there was something different about him, something inspiring. There was a certain glow, a quiet strength, and I just had to ask about his journey. What I discovered was so much more than a story about fitness. I found a man who has been guided by a higher calling, one that led him to leave behind his life as a hockey coach and a military man in Canada, to dedicate himself to serving the most vulnerable in Southeast Asia. Dave's story is one of faith, compassion, and unwavering dedication to a mission for a greater than himself. In a city like Chiang Mai, known for its peace and beauty, stories like Dave's remind us that sometimes the most powerful transformations happen quietly in the background. I'm excited to share his incredible journey with you today, and I hope it inspires you just as much as it did to me.
My name is David Small, and I'm about to quit my job. That may not seem like a big deal, but I feel like God has been calling me into a new era and a new adventure. And so, if God spoke to me like a loud booming voice from the sky, it would all be very easy. But I'm trying to discern whether that's the actual case or not, to quit my job. Manitoba border. I'm right above Minnesota and North Dakota. Fargo, I love Fargo. It's a great area. But I come from Canada, and I'm proud to be a Canadian. Sometimes I grew up in a very traditional Canadian setting. My father was a carpenter before he became a teacher, and he decided he wanted to build a log cabin. Our little cabin is right on this little lake, a small pond. We're the only house on this lake, and in the wintertime we get lots of snow and it freezes over. And from the time I was 2 years old, almost hardly walking, I was on ice skates and I was skating, and every year we would shovel off, my dad would shovel off an ice rink, and we would play hockey and we would skate on that ice rink until it was too dark to see the puck or too dark to continue on. And then we'd go inside, and we have this log cabin, and it's got a wood fireplace heated by wood heat, and my mom would be cooking something on the stove. She'd be making chili or something, and she'd have the CBC radio on in the background. And this is just a very traditional Canadian upbringing. If you were to look at a postcard of what Canada would be like, I'd be smack right in the middle of that postcard. I published my first book, which was called The Wandering Leader. And this book has a lot of stories about the things I learned in hockey and in the Army, as well as leadership lessons that I've picked up along the way. While I was attending my officer training program in the Army, I wanted to take a break, and the only way that you would get a break each week was if you were going to go to church on Sunday. At the time, I was not interested in religion. I was not interested in God. I had no plans to suddenly come and start attending church, but I really just wanted to take a break from the Army, and so filled out a leave pass and requested to go to church on Sunday. I called my friend Luke, who lived near the base, and he gladly welcomed me to his church. And the first Sunday that I went in, I actually had planned just to completely ignore the pastor and completely ignore the church service, but God had other plans. And as I sat in that service, I felt something going on inside of my heart, and I wasn't sure what it was, and I wasn't sure I liked it. And actually, at one point in the service, when the pastor started to talk about his struggle with depression, something that I had struggled with for over a decade, I felt like it was too much, and I didn't want to listen to this anymore. And so I actually got up and I walked out of the church. And I just thought, I'm going to walk around the block a few times, and hopefully this church service will end soon. And Luke came out and said, I just feel like God is messing with you. And I said back to him, Luke, I don't want God to mess with me. I'm not interested in God. The next Sunday, I went back to church, not because I was interested in having a repeat of the Sunday before, but because I wanted to keep taking a time off from the Army and getting a day off. So I went back to the church and walked in, And up until this point of my life, I had built a lot of my reputation and image on being the wandering leader, like I had written in that book. And the band started playing their music for the Sunday, and I sat down and the lyrics came up on the screen, and it was this song by David Crowder. And the lyrics go, "So lay down your burdens, lay down your shame. All who are broken, lift up your face. Oh wanderer, come home, you're not too far." And when I heard that word, wanderer, it got my attention right away. That's my word. That's what I associate myself with. That's how I portray myself, as the wandering leader. And here it was, like this song was speaking right to me. The next Sunday, I went back to the church. Again, I sat down. Again, the worship band started playing. And the lyrics to the very first song they sang spoke right to my heart. They said, "Here at your feet, I lay my past down, my wanderings, all my mistakes down, and I am free." Again, I thought, wow, that's my word. Again, this word wandering, wanderer, was what I had built my reputation and life on. And I just thought, wow, this is strange. 2 weeks in a row that something at this church is affecting me. The next Sunday, I went back to church. Again, I sat down in the seat. The band started playing. This time they played a song by Amy Grant, and the lyrics go, "I will not forget your love for me, and yet my heart forever is wandering." At this point, I started to think, is something going on here? Is this church on some sort of mission just to mess with me? Is there a conspiracy going on that they are building the service so that every time I come in here, they've got this song with a lyric that just speaks right to my heart? I was starting to get a bit confused and starting to realize that it can't just be a coincidence. Again, the next Sunday after that, I go back to the church, and again, the band starts playing. The first song they play, the lyrics come up, and the lyrics say, "Prone to wander, Lord, I feel it. Prone to leave the God I love. Here's my heart, oh take and seal it for your courts above." And I had spent the whole decade of my 20s just living for myself, not interested in God, not interested in anything else except myself, my career, my money, my fame, my success. And here's these lyrics that were speaking directly to and challenging everything that I had built my life around. And the next Sunday when I went back, it just felt like God was lining me up in his crosshairs and centering me, and the band started playing, and the music, the song they played was Oceans by Hillsong, and the lyrics say, "Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters, whatever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior." Man, these lyrics spoke right to my heart every Sunday. And after Sunday after Sunday after Sunday, it just kept going on like this. And at some point I realized God is pursuing me. God is trying to get my attention. And this God that I'm not interested in, this God that I don't even really know if he exists or not, is orchestrating all of these things to get my attention. I started to wonder if the worship leader, the band leader, was just having some sort of midlife crisis, and he was feeling very wandery himself. And I started to wonder if maybe all churches just play these songs, and every church song has the word wanderer in it, or some variation of that word. And so I went home and I started to do research, and I found the lists of the top 100 Christian songs for every year dating back a decade. And then I downloaded all the lyrics for those songs, and I found how many times that word wanderer comes. We had 500, 600, 700 songs that we were looking at, that I was looking at. And then I put it to a math equation. What is the ratio? How often, or what is the chances that you would take this amount of songs, your Billboard top 100 Christian songs or worship songs, that I would pick a song that this week has the word wander, and next week has the word wander, and next week has the word wander, and what is the ratio that might come up, that might occur? And as I did the math, I actually didn't do the math. My mathematician friend, who's much smarter than me, did the math, and then ran a simulation on a computer program, and it occurred one every 150 million times that every Sunday a song with the word wanderer would be picked. I suddenly found myself in this strange place where I couldn't deny that God was real. I couldn't deny that God was trying to get my attention, trying to wake me up and try to pursue me. And the strange place that I found myself in was, what do I do with this now? If God is real and God is pursuing me, what is my response to that? And as I chewed on that for a while, I realized that I only had one true answer, that there was only one real thing that I could do. And so there at that church, a small church called Sturgeon Alliance Church in this little town north of Edmonton, Alberta, I gave my life to God. I said, Jesus, you can have my life. You're real. You must be real. You've got my attention. My life is yours. Now what? There was one undeniable thing that came to me from that summer. That was that God was real and he loved me. He loved me enough that he would orchestrate all of the events of the summer, that he would have a 1 in 150 million chance happen to me just to say that he was real and he loved me. I ended up writing the events of that summer and then what happened afterwards in this new book called The Wandering Beloved. And then I ended up going over to Spain. I spent a month walking the Camino de Santiago and then went to Thailand and joined the Free Burma Rangers. I planned to come to the Free Burma Rangers for just 6 months, but God had bigger plans. And those 6 months turned into the last decade. And so now here we are, a decade later, from God taking hold of my life and changing the course of my life, reintroducing me to people like Patty Dose and the people in Burma, giving me a new passion for helping people in Burma and working in Burma, and just a deep love for the work of the Free Burma Rangers. And so to sit here today and to think about leaving the Free Burma Rangers is hard. It's been a huge part, a huge gift to my life. And if I think back to that very first trip that I took into the refugee camp back in 1999, and now it is 2024, and man, God had this plan for my life and a plan for each step along the way, and I couldn't see it. I still can't see it most days, and to think about saying goodbye to the Free Burma Rangers is a hard thing. It's a sad thing, and so I sometimes doubt my plan. I don't know. God did not wake me up in the middle of the night and say, this is what your new plan is. God did not make a booming voice from the sky to say, okay, time to change course again. But I've just been getting this feeling that, okay, this decade that I've spent with the Free Burma Rangers has been initiation and a lot of growing up and learning how to operate and how to work in Burma. And now it's time to move on to something different. And it feels very sad. It feels like leaving home. And I remember when I first left home to go and play hockey at Notre Dame, and my dad drove me there, and when he said goodbye, I remember I put on my sunglasses because I didn't want him to see tears welling up in my eyes as I was saying goodbye to him. And it feels very similar to like that right now, where the thought of saying goodbye to my friends, the thought of saying goodbye to a lot of the people I work with, and this organization that has given me so much and helped me so much over the last decade, it brings tears to my eyes as I think about it. And it's going to be a challenge, but I don't want to let comfort lead me. I don't want to let fear lead me. These are FBR mottos: don't be led by comfort and fear. And there's a lot of fear about going forward, starting this new program. And there's a lot of comfort in just staying with what I'm doing right now in the role that I'm working in. And so it's going to be a new chapter, and we're going to make this video series as we go, and we're going to document what it looks like over the next 6 months as we start this school. There's a lot that needs to happen, a lot that might get blocked and may never end up coming to term, but we'll see. And hopefully we'll keep making this as our first round of students arrive in September, and we start the school and we go on missions together and we learn together. And So I want to invite you along in this journey. I don't know where it's going. I don't know what the end is going to look like, but God does. And God has been so faithful in my life, even when I'm not faithful. He has been so true to lead me. And so I'm trusting God as we go in this process. And I thought it'd be fun to document it. Maybe not fun is the right word, but Pitzalin and Jala are with me, and they're going to be guiding us and guiding this video series along, and working together as we come up with what the school will look like. And we want to invite you on this journey with us. So stay tuned.
Dave didn't do this alone. He had some help from fellow volunteers. He partnered with two of his closest Thai friends, both former personal trainers, who shared his vision of combining fitness with humanitarian work. Together, they opened Apex Fitness. Unlike most gyms, Apex isn't just about physical strength. There is a deeper mission at play. The profits Dave makes from his share of the gym aren't just for personal gain. Instead, he uses his cut to fund his real passion, supporting and uplifting the Burmese and Myanmar refugees. But Dave's vision didn't just stop with financial aid. He wanted to empower these refugees with more than just survival skills. He wanted to give them hope and opportunity. And so he created a school called Jungle Discipleship School, a place where these refugees can learn, grow, and build the future for themselves. The school offers them education, training, helping them gain skills they can use to build a better life and to teach others like them despite their difficult circumstances. Dave's work is deeply rooted in his unwavering faith. For him, this isn't simply about charity. It's mission guided by something greater than himself. His dedication to the Burmese Myanmar refugees isn't about seeking recognition or praise. It's about honoring the calling he received over a decade ago, a calling that changed the course of his life. What stands out most about Dave is his humility. He doesn't seek the spotlight, but he is relentless in his commitment, ensuring every day that his actions align with the purpose that drives him. His faith fuels his determination, making his work not just an act of service, but a true labor of love. The impact of Dave's work can be seen in the lives of the refugees he's helped. Some have gone on to find some stable work, while others have been able to start their own business or return to school. Dave's school has given them a sense of direction. As Apex Fitness continues to grow, so does Dave's mission. He dreams of expanding the school and reaching more refugees, offering them a chance to break the cycle of poverty and instability. With every new member who walks through the doors of Apex Fitness, the gym's humanitarian reach extends further. Meeting Dave Small wasn't just an encounter for me, it was an inspiration. His story is a testament to what can happen when someone follows a calling with their whole heart. Dave's work with the Burmese and Myanmar refugees is driven by a deep sense of compassion and selflessness, pouring everything he has into giving these people a chance to rebuild their lives. It's not just about the gym, it's about using every resource, every opportunity to uplift those who face unimaginable hardships. Dave's journey has shown me that true impact comes not from grand gestures, but from sustained everyday efforts to make a difference. His vision of helping refugees survive and thrive through education and fitness is nothing short of remarkable. He's doing this not for recognition, but because it's what he feels called to do. I encourage you to take a moment to reflect on Dave's cause. Visit his website, junglediscipleshipschool.com, and consider making even a small contribution to support his selfless mission. By sharing his story, you can help extend the reach of his work and be part of something truly meaningful. Together, we can amplify the change Dave is striving to make. One life, one step, one heart at a time. Thank you for watching. I love you all.
Coming, they all know it, and they're asking for tarps, big tarps to be able to make temporary houses out of them. So we hope to be able to provide that. But if you follow me over here, you'll be able to see our medical program. We've come from Keta, where we had a great, amazing program yesterday with a bunch of IDPs, and we arrived here near where our school ground is. Our school ground is literally just almost over this mountain right beside us, and before we could go there, and I had this great plan that we do this awesome mission and we finish here on the school ground, and then we spend a few days getting the layout of the school ground. Of course, things that would have all been approved by now. And then I go back and I have to do some stuff across the border, but leave the team here to start building buildings. And we've even got some money to build these buildings, but the approval has not come through yet. And now I've got the team all sitting here on the doorstep, and our school ground is within reach, but yeah, we've just come from a meeting, and I got a bit of a scolding at the meeting, and I've always been one who has an idea and runs 1,000 miles ahead to get this idea done, and not always doing it in the right order or getting the right approvals. And so now they've told us, hey, okay, you need to pause your school plans until we get all the right approvals, which then means I need to find another leader, where we've been trying for 2 weeks to find this leader and have had no luck in doing that. And so, yeah, we're just waiting now. And now I don't know what to do with the team that's here with me, and it's just frustrating. It feels like we should have had this all solved by now, but yeah, and I had to learn the process, because when I would do it with FBR, it all just happens in the background. It happens without anybody seeing it. And it's been happening with them for 25 years. And so it's fairly seamless, and they can kind of do what they want. But now that I'm on my own, it's not that way anymore. And I've got to learn the right way to do it, and the right procedures and steps. And I'm thankful for the relationships that I do have here, because those relationships are basically saving me from getting kicked out. But yeah, it's just been a bit of a frustrating afternoon, and the school ground is so close that
we know there's a piece of paradise up there for us, and now we're camping out next to a dusty motorcycle trail, and so it's a bit frustrating, and I don't know what's next.